Yesterday I made a video comparing the difference between disembarkation on a river cruise versus disembarkation on an ocean cruise. And today I'm going to continue in the series of the differences between the two with the differences between the embarkation process this time. Hi, my name is Cassandra and I'm a travel agent with C&K Getaways, and I specialize in helping my clients plan vacations to destinations around the world, and that includes river cruising, ocean cruising, land tours, all the works. So right now this is part 2 of a series that I'm doing comparing river cruising and ocean cruising. So if you want to know the differences between the two, you're going to want to follow my page because I'm going to be sharing a ton of information over the next probably about a month. If you've ever been on an ocean cruise, you know that the embarkation process can feel a little bit chaotic. Even if it's the most well-oiled machine, and they usually are, it can be very overwhelming. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of luggage, there's a lot of waiting, and it's a long process. You know, you have either your birth certificate and your ID or your passport, whatever you're traveling with, and you go through security and all of this. So it can be a lot. Don't get me wrong now, I love ocean cruises, so this is not a comparison of like, oh, what's better and what's worse. This is just kind of my observations between the two different things. Boarding a river cruise in Europe is totally different. It is so much different. So I'm just going to give an example of our last Ama Waterways cruise. You don't even show your passport when you board the ship. You just tell them your last name, they give you the keys. It is so easy. There's no like security lines to go through. The only line that you're going to wait in is if there's somebody possibly checking in at the reception desk in front of you. It's just you walk on the boat, you tell them your name, you get your keys, and you go on. Now, of course, if you get there early or something and your room's not ready, that might be a little different, but there's no chaos. It's just like checking in at a hotel. Now, aside from the ease of just actually getting on the ship, another difference that is important to know is if you've ever done an ocean cruise, you know that you usually have to do some kind of muster drill. Now, a lot of cruise lines are moving to doing it in the app, or you just go to a certain station and they scan your card, or they scan your, they scan your information and they mark that you've attended the safety briefing, learning how to put on a life jacket and where your lifeboats are and all of that. On a river cruise, or at least specifically with Ama Waterways, you go to a briefing altogether. There's no thing to do in the app or anything like that. There's a scheduled like safety briefing type of thing on the first night. That's also going to be when you're going to meet your cruise manager and the captain and some of the other crew on board that you'll be interacting with throughout the week. And they go over more things than just safety. So they'll talk about your itinerary a little bit and some other information, dining times and all of that. So it's not just a safety briefing. It is a lot more of like a cruise overview briefing. And you can have some champagne or some wine or get yourself a drink from the bar during this time as well. So it's just a really laid back event, and it's not so stressful of like on an ocean cruise. If they'll call over the loudspeaker if you haven't done it, the muster stuff, and say, if you don't have this done by a certain time, you're gonna hold up the ship, or you might have to leave. Ask me how I know that. Alright, so those are some of the differences, but a similarity between an ocean cruise and a river cruise is the way that you can get your luggage to your room. So if you've been on an ocean cruise before, you know that you can drop your luggage off with a luggage porter at the port before you start doing the embarkation process. And you put your luggage tags on beforehand, and it has your room information and stuff on it. So you get your check-in done, and then after a certain amount of time, your room just magically has your bags. So it's the same with river cruising. So if you are on like Ama Waterways transportation to get to the ship, for example, a shuttle from the airport or from one of the hotels if you're doing one of their pre-cruise land programs, then your stuff is just taken to your room anyway from the shuttle. But if you are just arriving and you have your bags with you and stuff, they will have somebody out there that will take your bags and take it to your room for you. Another similarity is that both types of cruises usually have you do some kind of an online check-in process 30 days to 2 weeks out from your cruise. that's kind of where the similarities end, because with the ocean cruises, once you do that online check-in process, that's usually where you get your boarding pass, and you usually have to show your boarding pass to get on the cruise. On the waterways, you do the check-in process and you get your travel documents about 30 days out, all that kind of stuff, but we've never had to show our documents of any kind to board an waterway ship. So that is something that's similar but still different. So I feel like those are kind of the big things to address if you're comparing a river cruise to an ocean cruise. Obviously there's a lot more, but I feel like those were like the highlights to go over. And make sure that you're following my page, because I am going to be sharing a lot more over the next month or so, the good, the bad, everything I can think of. And so if you have any questions or anything like that, drop a comment, because I'll do my best to answer them for you. And again, I am a travel agent with C&K Getaways, so if you're interested in taking a river cruise or an ocean cruise or any other kind of vacation, I'm your girl. Let me know.